and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer, an explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind talking about Justin Bieber.
Hello out there. We're on the air. God, I love that intro. Never gets old. Never, ever, ever, ever. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This one's titled, We Are First Generation Bitcoiners. And you're in for a treat today. This is going to be a good show. It's our 20th lesson, number 20. Oh, yeah. Making sure this works here. Looks like it is. Okay. Lots of people in Rumble this morning. Holy man. Rumble, how you doing? I'm going to be able to see your chats today, so don't feel like you got to run away from Rumble like last week. Hey, quick fun fact before we go any further today. I didn't know this until yesterday, but did you guys know when the very first Bitcoin block was mined? It was on a day back in January 2009. But more importantly, do you know what day of the week it was? That's the question. And I just found this out yesterday. It was indeed a Saturday. It was a Saturday. January 3rd, 2009, the very first Bitcoin block was mined on Saturday. Satoshi mined the very first block on January 3rd, 2009, and it was indeed a Saturday. I didn't know that till yesterday, but it makes sense. It seems like pretty much every aspect of this whole crazy thing we call Bitcoin was very well designed, very well thought out by the man, the woman, or the group of people who put it all together. So shout out to Satoshi today. And this one is going to be dedicated to Satoshi. We're all Satoshi. We're all first generation Bitcoiners too. And that's how you should be thinking about things. So we're in for a treat, like I said today. We're going to start with the mempool. We're going to start with a couple different things. First of all, I want to say thank you right off the hop to my good buddy Praetorian, who sent a nice early morning zap today. And let's check out his message. Did he have one today? That's the question. Oh, I might have been... Oh, no, we're good. Oh, we got a couple already. Look at this. We're humming. Rizful's pretty slow today. I don't know what's going on with it. But wow, look at that. We got Praetorian with 5,000 units of freedom. Said, good morning, Jordan Visionaries. Have a fantastic, timeless Tuesday. Kind regards, Praetorian. Thank you, Praetorian. And we got a big zap here 2 hours ago. Jen. I don't know what Jen was doing 2 hours ago. No way, that was 2 hours ago. 7:49 a.m., I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of freedom from Jenny Legendary, the largest recipient of the most outstanding Bitcoiner, which we give away every day on the live streams here. So thank you, Jen. Wow, that's very kind of you. Very kind. That helps. That helps quite a bit today. But anyways, let's check on Rumble first. We got a lot of things going on here. I was listening to that Alex Jones intro, and I had Zapstream on, I had Rumble on, I had this on. So I was playing from like 3 different sources. It was absolute chaos. So I need to give my mind a little bit of a slowdown here. But we got Praetorian over in Rumble, Silver Whale. We got Sats and Sunsets, Golden Whale. Good morning, Sats and Sunsets. Joshua's over there, another golden whale. And we got a lot of castles. The whole screen is red over in Rumble. That's all the supporters we have. And we got Ginger. Good morning, Ginger. Buck52. Conquistadors. He says, hello, fellow explorers, or conquistadors. I like that one. That seems a little bit more appropriate for Bitcoin. Jen, hands off my Sats. Golden whale herself said, good morning. Is this the right place to wait for Jor to get off the throne and flush? Oh, man. I saw this comment before I turned on this stream, and I had a pretty good laugh. Jen said, Jor, you got your coffee and element water. Get it together, you Canadian Democrat. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you for the laugh. Thank you for the support. 65 Sats, premium member over in Rumble. Look at that. Big dog. Mark, 65 Sats, good morning. Kev Keith, stay sovereign, stack Sats, self-custody. It's as simple as that. Good morning. Jake, 21 hats. And Eatable Zebras there as well. Captain and North Star, Camille. Good crew over in Rumble today. Holy man. Could you ask for much more than that? Could you ask for much more than that? Okay, so like I said, we're going to have a good lesson today. We're talking about Bitcoin and how Bitcoiners are kind of like farmers, except it's better. It's better. I have a hard time saying that because I'm a big proponent of land myself, but Bitcoin, in my opinion anyways, is significantly, infinitely better than land. So we're going to talk about that today. We got DCA from Cypher today. Cypher, my man. Thank you, buddy. Which is 4,054 units of freedom. Joshua says, what's up, dogs? Oh, I can't. Oh, there we go. What's up, dogs? Probably going to fall asleep during the show, eh? She's warm in the cab this morning. With the Joshua Zap, 8,888 units of sovereignty. Thank you, Josh. And we got the D and DCA too. Duncan's here. Good morning, Duncan. 4057. So it looks like the price went down in the last 2 minutes. And Sats and Sunsets, 2,000 for show number 20 today. Less than 20. And we're supposed to have 68 more. 68 more of these episodes. But I got some news about that. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Fanny Packer's here. What the time? I make it, darn. I'll stay on as long as I can. What the time? What the heck does that mean, Fanny? And she says, let's see your shaft. Referring, of course, to the shaft that I had on the show the other day. A shaft is espresso, vodka, milk, and Irish cream. The most delicious. I'm going to start making drinks every Saturday now going forward for the Underrated channel. It's a good, I like it. I had a good time with that. And I think it'll be fun to mix some other elements into it. Scotty Boy, 99 BTC Beats. Is this the right place for people that have zapped all their sats? Yes. Happy birthday for the other day. Yeah, Fanny. Fanny's birthday this week, I think. Or it was, right? So happy belated birthday to Fanny. And speaking of backpackers, there's BTC Backpacker right there. He says, good morning, wonderful people. Good morning, BTC Backpacker. Good to see you, buddy. Okay, let's check on the Zap stream. What's going on over there? How's Zap stream doing today? And I see some other familiar faces in the chat today. Scotty. Primal now is a self-custodial wallet built into the app. Yes, Backpacker. We watched the video on that yesterday. That 4-minute video, I think, from Paul in the Jungle. And we had some mixed reactions to it, you might say. The new Primal wallet. We're not 100% on board yet. So if anybody out there is considering using the new Primal wallet, just be aware. Be aware. What's the goal today? What is it? Tuesday? 88 lessons. We'll try to get, we'll set a goal of 88,000 today. How about that? I think we can do that. We're halfway there. It's like Bon Jovi. We are literally living on a prayer right now, it seems. Maria, look at that. We got Maria 2000, also known as Maria 2500 on Rumble, and Maria 5000 around here. She zapped 5,000 units of freedom. Shot of espresso. Cheers, Maria. Good to see that you're still safe and sound. What Josh said LOL to Sats and Sunsets. I don't see a chat from Sats and Sunsets. So, and 65 Sats, Mark is over there. He's zapped 1650 units of freedom. Thank you, Mark. So I got to figure out what I'm missing here, because apparently Sats and Sunsets is telling jokes that I can't see. I love inside jokes. Hope to be a part of one someday, as Michael Scott would say on The Office. One of my all-time favorite quotes. Okay, let's let Noster know we're live before we go any further. But yeah, Backpacker, we talked about on the show yesterday. I'll maybe share the show for people just in case, because so it's kind of important, I would say anyways. It's kind of important thing to be aware of. We talked about Spark. Spark, who's behind it, how it works, how unprivate it is. Spark basically works, the best way that I can explain it is that Spark basically works very similar to Lightning, except all the transactions are public. And I would say it's actually worse than on-chain, because with on-chain, at least you have like a BC1 address that's pseudo-synonymous. Is that what it is? Pseudonymous. That's a hard word. Pseudonymous, I think it is. In other words, they don't know who it is. But I'm pretty sure on Spark, if I had a Spark address like jor@spark.com or whatever the hell it is, they would be able to see all the transactions in and out of my wallet on that protocol. And that's what the new Primal wallet's using. So I could be wrong. Again, this is just it's a new thing. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on the matter, far from, in fact. But we did a little bit of digging yesterday on that, and that's what we found. So just be aware for the people out there using Primal. You might want to just, be careful with it. Be careful with it. Lightning's much more private than that, but Spark's essentially Lightning with all the transactions public, just like the blockchain. But again, blockchain, you can't see names, you can't see address, or you can't see who it's associated to. Plastic's here. Good morning, Plastic. BTC Beat Scotty Boy says the castle maker himself. Yes, that is Sats and Sunsets. There's Ian right there. Ian E. Said, hi, gang, Jor and co-host Arnie. Oh, my God, I've caught a live one. Yeah, Ian, we haven't seen you for a while, man. It's good to see you. I would imagine that you're busy man. Edward, the Bruce, dropped a few grand from my Roth IRA into Bitcoin yesterday, and my HSA is in the process of being 100% liquidated, and that will also go into Bitcoin. Wow. What a freaking legend. What a freaking legend. Over in I'm going to bring up Rumble here for a second, because I can't bring up the comments, so we'll have to do it kind of the old-fashioned way. But look at this, Ian. Jen says, we have missed you. We have missed you, Ian. And look at that. We have 40 people over in Rumble today. Rumble's buzzing. Bzz, 40. J-Dog's here. I don't know what the hell that means, J-Dog. But there's a golden whale, Jen. And Mastay says, do you prefer more viewers on Rumble or YouTube? I don't care too much. Probably Rumble, because we do a show every day on Rumble. YouTube's a weekly thing. There's Cypher right there. Good morning from Chile. From the Chile. Can't make up its mind in the weather. Ontario. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Look at this place out here. We were supposed to do a little bit of traveling today, but it's been snowing for the last 3 hours here. Very gloomy day. Hard to that's why we got this, I guess. We got our artificial sun today, keeping us in good spirits. And I would promote it, but I guess they don't ship to Canada anymore, because red light is too suspect for the government of Canada. Too dangerous. Don't want you using red light without their approval, their stamp. BTC Backpacker says, even if mine is at primal.net. I don't think it's has to do with your address. I think it has to do with the protocol that everything's being done on. So it wouldn't matter what your address is. It's just all the transactions are public. Not ideal. So again, do your own research, check into it yourself, just making you aware of it. We did about that's what I was trying to share. We did about a 5-minute breakdown yesterday of it on the show, going through the Spark protocol. Spark was created by David Marcus, who I wouldn't say I would trust as far as I can throw him. I think he's one of the PayPal. I'm pretty sure, anyways, one of the PayPal mafia guys. Yeah, right here. Exactly. What do you expect from an ex-Facebook employee, David Marcus? Yeah, just be aware. Just be aware. That's all I'm going to say. I love Primal. Props. They've done a lot of really good things moving Primal forward, like a lot of good things. But I thought that was a kind of a questionable decision by them. But I don't know the whole story. That's what I'm saying. You gotta look into yourself a little bit. Okay, I'm just looking for this. Oh, Sats and Sunset said live stream it, Josh. Okay, I see some people in here that I didn't see before. So Maria said, still no power at her house, but we're making do and pushing on. Wow. Still no power, eh? That's tough. And it looks like Camille's up to 1,000 units of freedom times 2. Said I owed you a couple of coffees. Thank you, Camille. Okay, so I'm going to find this real quick and I'll share it with you just in case you're interested in watching. I know YouTube's not going to like it, but I think it's more important to keep people informed. So I'll just share quickly here. Where was that? We watched that video right here. Okay, so here's the video from yesterday where we talked about the new Primal wallet for anybody who's on Nostr and using Primal. This might be of interest to you. So there's the video, and the part where we were talking about Primal was at about the 1 hour 15 mark, just so you don't have to skip, you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to. But it was at about the 110, 115 hour into it. So just be aware. Be aware. Plastic says, I love the Zeus wallet. So do I. I'm a big fan of the Zeus wallet. I like Wallet of Satoshi, Zeus, Bull, Bitcoin, Aqua. Those are kind of my main 4 wallets that I use. Different uses, different use cases. Although I would say Bull, Bitcoin, and Aqua are very similar. Very similar. But I do like the Zeus wallet. I think it's such a badass, underrated wallet. I think over time, I'm going to make that my go-to. But you can't do everything on it. Like I like Wallet of Satoshi for like not true, but I guess real quick and easy Lightning. And then I like the fact that the Bull Bitcoin wallet and Aqua have liquid support because I like liquid. And then Zeus, I don't know, something about Zeus just makes me feel like a pimp using that thing. It just seems like, I don't know, it's weird. And you get to run your own node with it too. It's a very easy way to run your own node. And the last thing that I'll say about Zeus is that you can use it as a Lightning wallet without having a big balance. Like you don't have to set up a channel. With a wallet like Phoenix and some other like true Lightning wallets with self-custody, you have to basically fund it. You have to fund a Lightning channel before you can send or receive Bitcoin out of it. But with Zeus, you can use Lightning because they have eCash built into it. So you can use Lightning with like very small amounts. It costs a little bit more, so it's not great for that. That's why I like Wallet of Satoshi. It's quick, easy, cheap. But Zeus is, I don't know, I just feel way more robust, more powerful using the Zeus wallet. So that's what I've been using. So it actually uses the eCash protocol where you can use Lightning for like 1,000 sats, 2,000 sats. And then once you have a decent balance, it makes you set up a Lightning channel. So you can keep it all self-custody. You get the 12 words to your wallet, and you don't have to worry about being rugged by Wallet of Satoshi or Rizful or Coinos. So that's a little bit more work, a little more experienced Bitcoiners probably, but that's the way to do it. Okay. I'm messing around here too much. Sorry, Otto. Good to see you, Otto. We got Ian. We got Fanny. And we got Ian. Clean Your Machine says hello, everybody. Ian, good to see you, man. Great to see you. I've been seeing Ian in a couple different chats in the last couple weeks, but I haven't seen him in this chat, so it's good to see you. Scotty Boy said Jor likes them quick, easy, and cheap. Pause. Oh man, Scotty Boy. What a crew here. Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's check on the mempool, see what's going on. Let's get to the lesson. Yeah, Fanny doing Fanny things. Exactly. That's that's a great way to put it, backpacker. Okay, we got the mempool here. The block height, 941,000. We crossed another 1,000 blocks this morning. So 941,017, that is the time in Bitcoin. That is the block height. And we started the show here talking about this big day in history, which turned out to be a Saturday, oddly enough. Saturday. Okay, actually, you know what? While we're here quickly, I know we're kind of dicking around a little bit, but I don't know. I'm a bit of a nerd. I like this kind of stuff. So if we asked Perplexity here, what day was Satoshi? So we just talked about Bitcoin, January 3rd, 2009. Satoshi mining the very first block on a Saturday. I doubt that was a coincidence. What day was Satoshi born? It's going to be 1975, I think, April 5th, 1975. That's what they have on their P2P Foundation profile, but it is widely believed to be a symbolic and not a verified real birth. Okay. So why did he choose April 5th, 1975 as his birthday? Look at that. That's what we were looking for right there, folks. Right there. Executive Order 6102. Huh. I wonder if that was a coincidence. So no one knows for sure why Satoshi chose the 5th of April, 1975. But the leading theory is that it is a political Easter egg rather than a real birth date. Obviously, I doubt Satoshi would have used his real name. But it says April 5th, 1933 is the date that Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102, banning most private gold ownership in the U.S., which many Bitcoiners see as the archetypal example of state confiscation of sound money. Bingo. Bingo, bango, bongo. And then 1975 is the year the U.S. finally lifted restrictions on private gold ownership, restoring the ability of citizens to freely host gold. So in other words, putting April 5th, 1975 together is therefore widely read as a symbolic reference to the arc from gold confiscation to renewed money freedom, aligning with Bitcoin's ethos as digital gold and resistance to centralized control, though Satoshi never confirmed this, and it remains speculation. Speculation, conspiracy, coincidence, whatever you want to call it. This is absolutely why Satoshi chose this date as his birthday. But Bitcoin's much bigger than digital gold. That's just kind of scratching the very, very surface of it. We're going to talk about land today. I think that land is actually a better comparison to Bitcoin than gold, much better comparison. And there's much more to it than that. I think the one thing that everybody watching the stream would agree on today, if nothing else, is that Bitcoin changes you. Bitcoin changes you as a human being, more than just money. So anyways, that's part of what we're going to be talking about today. So let's go back to the mempool. Damn it. Why did I do that? Okay. So the mempool. So since that date back in 2009, there's been 941,017 blocks. That's what this blockhead is. And you can go in yourself. You can look at every single block. You can see who won it, what they got paid. You can see the Coinbase transaction, which is the newly generated Bitcoins every 10 minutes on average. You can see that, and you can see all the transactions. So this was a tough block for Via BTC. Was it Via BTC? Yeah. They only made, oh no, never mind. They made $3 million on the fees, but that's what the miner gets. So they get the subsidy, which is the 3.125 Bitcoin, plus the transaction fee. So every time you send a transaction on the layer 1 network, the main net, you have to pay a transaction fee. And so all the transaction fees flow to the miner who mined the block. So you can go into every single, oh, this is a wallet. That was a wallet. We want to go to the transaction ID. So you can see the flow here. And this is the fee. That every transaction has a transaction fee on it right there. And that goes to the miner, whoever mined the block. So that's part of their incentives for mining, for sending hash rate or energy into the network. Okay, and the difficulty adjustment, the immune system, as Marty Bent referred to it as, we're 152 blocks behind. Wow. And last time there was this big of a drop, we kind of had a reason for it. There was a big storm in the US, a big winter storm, where they had to reallocate a bunch of the energy to heating houses versus mining Bitcoin. And so there was a big drop. It recovered the next 2 weeks for the next difficulty adjustment period. But this is a big downwards drop. And a lot of people are saying that miners are redirecting their energy to AI data centers, which is what we talked about yesterday on the show. I posted a 10-minute video on YouTube talking about it yesterday of the reasoning behind it, the math in terms of how much Bitcoin miners make per kilowatt hour, or I guess it was megawatt hour, versus how much AI data centers make per megawatt hour. But it wasn't all bad news. It wasn't all bad news. We actually saw it as a positive. Of course, it's pretty hard to find something that's bad for Bitcoin, other than as it relates to KYC and privacy shit. But that's kind of outside of Bitcoin's control. That's up to us to fight for. So that's the mempool today. Let's check on the time chain calendar. And I think since last week, maybe not. I think we had 20 million Bitcoin last week. But 20 million Bitcoin have been mined. So if we go back to the mempool here quickly, we can see how those new Bitcoin are created. So if we go into a block, you just click any block here. This is the mempool over here, the green ones. And once it crosses this line, that's when it's in the time chain forever. It's an immutable ledger. So this is the Coinbase transaction that happens in every single block that's mined. So Coinbase, it has nothing to do with the Coinbase company, the Coinbase company. But they stole the name from this. But this is the Coinbase transaction. So every block that's mined, it has newly generated Bitcoin in there. And so if you took all these blocks and you added up the Coinbase transactions, the newly generated Bitcoin, that would add up to just over 20 million Bitcoin today. And you can verify all this yourself, which is part of the reason why Bitcoin, in my mind, is much better than land, because you can verify yourself, and banks can verify it themselves. Very easy to verify. And, if you think about what land is used for in certain cases is collateral. And imagine a collateral that you have that you can verify instantly, the value, the ownership, and very liquid too. So we're going to talk about that stuff today in the show. But epoch number 5, the block subsidy here. Again, this is what the miners get every block, the subsidy plus the fees for the total block reward. In this case was 3.1633 to Via BTC. Subsidy plus the fees equals the reward. Every block, that is the case. And I guess we're ripping a little bit. We're almost at 75,000 USD, which is still trading at about a 99% discount, I would say, for what it's really worth. But good to see. 1337. If you got $1 kicking around in your pockets, under the couch cushions in your vehicle's console, you can trade $1 dollar, also known as unit of illusion, also known as units of trash, also known as units of thin air. You can trade one of those units for 1,337 units of the hardest, scarcest, best money in human history. Pretty good trade. We call that the deal of a lifetime. And now let's see how we're doing, Scotty. Are we still all in play here? Yes, we are. Wow, look at that. So today you can trade 14 pet rocks for a block in Cyber Manhattan. You can trade 14 pet rocks for a full block in Manhattan. Except better, because you don't have to pay property taxes. You don't have to worry about which dipshit they elected as mayor. You can just take the custody yourself and hold on to it, protect it. But we called the bottom here. When was that, Scotty boy? Right here. We called this as the bottom. So we'll see if it holds up. We called this on March 2nd, 2026. I said this is going to be the bottom in gold, because fiat's fucking. Oh, sorry, YouTube. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to have some people in my comment section after that. Joe, I like your videos, but you should refrain from swearing. You should refrain from putting swear words in your thumbnails. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to. Slept. I swear a lot on the Rumble and the Noster chats every day, but I try not to here on the YouTubes. But anyways, that's what we called the bottom. 12 ounces. And so far it's looking good. So far it's looking like a correct prediction. Whoa. Jake said, good morning, Bad Gal B. I do not see Bad Gal B in the chat here. Oh, there. I see her on Show. Bad Gal B zapped 1,000 units of sovereignty. Thank you, Bad Gal B. Good morning. All right. What's going on over on Rumble? Holy man, we got some more subscriptions happening. Jerry's here. Jerry loves freedom. The celebrity. We got a celebrity in the chat this morning. Actually, a couple celebrities. We got BTC Backpacker, and we got Jerry loves freedom. Now we just need Trent to show up. Where's Trent? All the boys. Okay, let's check on. Sorry, we're a little bit scrambly today, but we're all right. We're doing all right. Edward Bruce says, Joe, if you had a 401k retirement account, did you choose to pull it out into Bitcoin and eat the fees? Yeah, I did. Was it the right play? Yeah. Was it the right play, like financially? Probably not. I probably could have done it in a much more efficient way, because I got hammered with fees. I think I paid a 25% withdrawal fee. And the reason why I did it wasn't because I wanted to get into Bitcoin like that much that day. I was at a point in my life where I wanted to be as far away from that system as I could get. And in about within a year, I won't get in. I don't want to be too personal on here, because it's really none of your business, whoever's watching this. But I quit my job. I sold my rental house. I sold my house. I moved out of the city, all within about 6 months. And I had a pretty big other life event happen, which kind of tied into everything there. So yeah, I just said, you know what? I'm taking it out. I don't care what I have to pay. I want out of this system. And ever since then, that was like 5 years ago now. That was November 2021. So not quite 5 years. But yeah, that was I did though. I don't regret it at all. Like I said, I probably could have done it more efficiently, just with slower withdrawals. But that's the thing. It's like, I also sold my rental house, which I put into Bitcoin at the time, which was at the top. So I'll go through a couple different things, because there was pretty much 3 things that happened there. So the retirement account, cashed it out, paid 25% fee, bought the top, sold my rental house, Got a decent amount. I mean, I probably could have got more if I would have been a little bit more patient with it. Put that into Bitcoin, bought the top. The top was like 65K, I think. This was back in 2021. Bought the top, and I left my job. Left my job when Bitcoin was at the top. So you can imagine how the next 6 months played out for me. If you look at the Bitcoin price, the timeline of this, you could imagine how the next 6 months to a year worked out for me. In the sense that I sold everything, moved out of the city, bought the top, Bitcoin crashed from 65 down to 15,000. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have income coming in. I had to sell some Bitcoin at a loss. Didn't have a rental house anymore. Bought the top. So, but the main point of that is that I'm still way ahead now. Even though for the next 6 months I was in the dumps, I just had to wait 4 years, and all of a sudden, it looked like a pretty good idea again. So you can't win them all. But the most important thing there, I think, is that I got the rental house out of my life because that was a big time stress for me. It was a 120-year-old house, or maybe not 120, 100-year-old house. Beautiful house, but very old, a lot of problems. I got out of the system. I didn't want anything to do with the stock market, the bonds, the equities, none of that. I wanted completely out. And I left my job, which was the best decision I've ever made. So again, on a high, Bitcoin hits an all-time high. I'm feeling good. Quit my job, sell my everything, buy Bitcoin, crash. 6 months of some pretty dark days. And then, you just got to give it time. And it works out. So I'm living proof of that. But look at this. We got Jerry Loves Freedom over in the Rumble chat today. And we got Sats and Sunsets going ham. The castle maker himself. That's why he's nicknamed the castle maker. So Jerry Loves Freedom. Bitcoin was started on Saturday. Wow. Jerry was also born in 75. Is Jerry Satoshi? And Jerry shows up for 5 minutes and gets a subscription to the Rumble, courtesy of the castle maker, Sats and Sunsets. And J-Dog says, just a little Gaelic greeting on the patio. Oh, I forgot it was St. Patrick's Day. Frick. I had a green hat I was going to wear too. And life's just flying by too fast. It's hard to keep up. Okay. Sats and Sunset said, possible the tornado outbreak. Oh, yeah. Good point. Tornado outbreak might have to do something with the reduced hash rate. Although, would it? Because I feel like when it's a winter storm, they have to reallocate their resources to heat houses. But would they need it for tornadoes? I don't know. We might be stretching there a little bit. Another subscription. Who got that one? How does Jerry get 2 subscriptions? That might be an error. That might be an error. Sats and Sunset said too much white in the chat. Yeah. He's Sats and Sunset's huge racist. Hates white. Only loves red. We love rednecks over in Rumble. The castle maker showing up again today. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. That helps a ton for this for the mission we're on here. Okay, what do we got here? Peter. Good morning, Peter. Good to see you, my friend. Ian said, hi, Fanny Packer. Sorry, I'm not following the chat. Just listening while I work for Sats. Good man. Let's LFG. Sat in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. That's right. Ron McKay says, I've been saying that for 30 years and still didn't recognize Bitcoin. What do you mean? What can you elaborate there? I'm not entirely sure what that means. Yeah, pet rocks. That's what they are. Literally. That's what gold is. Pet rock. I've been saying that for 30 years and still didn't recognize Bitcoin. It's got to have something to do with scarcity. I don't know. This isn't Bitcoin we're talking about here. I'm not following you, Ron. I think we're on the same page with things. I don't understand what you're saying. VHF's here. Good morning, VHFs. CYM, what's up? Yeah, good to see CYM today. Sabian says, good to see you, Jor. Always remember, paper notes are not money. Stack only sats daily. Amen to that. Yep. David T's here. David T's zapped 420 units of freedom. Says good morning. Good morning, David T. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see Jerry in the chat today. What's Jerry doing up at this hour a day? All right, well, we still got to do our frickin' lesson here, so I better have a warm glass of shut the F up here. Merchant. I recognize that name, that profile pic. Good morning. All right, well, let's get to her. How about that? Let's get to her, because this is going to be a good one today. I promise, so I better deliver. I promise, so I had better deliver. Will I, though? That's a question. Will I deliver? All right, here we go. The lesson for today, and this is actually going to be our second last lesson. What? Jory, you said there's going to be 88 lessons. I know. But things change. Things change, you know? So I got some news coming about that too, which we'll talk about later. But this is going to be the second last episode of this series. So this one's titled, We Are First Generation Bitcoiners. And I want to make sure we got this one in before we cut off the series. We got discontinued. Netflix shut us down. Not enough people in Rumble, I guess. Anyways, shout outs. Oh, sorry, I got to read the title. We Are First Generation Bitcoiners. Shout outs to Gigi. Gigi, my man. Actually, it's funny because I've been giving him a shout out every show, Gigi, for his book called 21 Lessons. And this series is going to turn into 21 lessons too. So maybe we were foreshadowing a little bit there. But that's the bad news. We got some good news too, though, which I think people will be interested in. But shout out to Gigi. Heck of a Bitcoiner, one of my favorites. And I've learned a ton from him. And we're actually going through his book right now in Bitcoin School as part of the preparation for the course launch. So that's Gigi. Michael Saylor, he had a quote, one of my favorite quotes. He said, people spend 100,000 hours earning money, 100,000 hours of their life earning money. Going to work, they should spend at least 100 hours learning how to keep it. Or, we got to update this, I guess, or 21 lessons. And of course, shout out to you, whoever's watching this today. You are a first generation Bitcoiner. And I don't think people realize the responsibility that they have at this stage, but you do. Clearly, if you're spending some time on a Tuesday morning listening to me talk, you get it. So I want to say a shout out to you, because Bitcoin's much different. Bitcoin's a completely different system than the fiat system. The fiat system has a lot of safety nets. The fiat system has a lot of insurance. The fiat system has a lot of middlemen to keep both sides honest. But with that comes a lot of fees, a lot of trust in other people. And as we've seen, I think through the years, and especially as of late, you can't really trust anybody. And so Bitcoin allows you to take all that you need and put it in your own hands. But it comes with a pretty big responsibility too. You got to learn how to keep those 12 words to yourself. You got to learn where to hide those 12 words. You got to learn how much you want to have on Lightning, how much you want to have on Liquid, how much you want to have in cold storage, how much you want to have on an exchange, how to pass that on to your family if something were to unexpectedly happen to you, how to make sure that if somebody broke in your house or your house burned down, that your Bitcoin would survive that. There's a lot of things to know, and there's not a whole lot of resources available for people. And I can say this myself, after being in Bitcoin for 6 years, I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, the hard way. Thankfully, not all of them, but a lot of lessons the hard way. But I'm better for it. And that's why I feel very equipped to talk about this and to try to help other people avoid the mistakes that I made. So shout out to you. Whoever's watching this, wherever you are, shout out to you. You understand the importance of this. And if you're watching my channel, you're here for more than just the number go up. New members. We got some new members on the channel. By the way, if you are we got a couple options if you want to be part of the community here. So again, I know most people know this, but just in case you don't, which we're going to be talking about in the next point here, is that we don't have any sponsors. We have no sponsors on this channel. We never have. We never will. I said if I get to a point where I need sponsors, I'm just going to shut things down because I don't want to be influenced by anybody. I want to be able to speak without fear. And Bitcoin's allowed me to do that. I talked about that on the Bitcoin School yesterday, the episode that I did. I said, without Bitcoin, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I would be censoring myself. I would feel like a coward. And, one thing I've been paying quite a bit of attention to lately is this stuff, Stoicism. And I'm actually going to work this into our Bitcoin School course in terms of Stoicism, because I think that this is not quite as important as learning how to secure your private keys properly, but up there. And, one thing that Marcus Aurelius, one of his core themes, is that you shouldn't do anything that doesn't align with your soul. That's pretty much it. If you can get through life, he uses the word virtue a lot, but if you can get through life with a good feeling in your soul, you win. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter how much people show up at your funeral. None of that matters. The only thing that matters truly, and I agree with this too. I believe in karma. I believe in all this kind of stuff. But making decisions based on what feels right with your soul. And there's a lot of things that don't feel right with my soul. And I wouldn't have the courage and the ability to talk about this without Bitcoin. And so, we got enough things to censor ourselves by, and I don't want any sort of sponsors or anybody making me self-censor myself once I've kind of escaped that world. So we don't have any sponsors here. That's a big part of the what I do. So we're pretty reliant on the community. And people show up here every day. We do a live stream and send in some love via sats. But there's also people who join our school community who are members of the YouTube community. We got people like Sats and Sunsets who pay for people to be part of our Rumble community with gifts. But Bitcoin School, like I said, you're going to be able to access these. Actually, if you join today, if you join as a member on the channel, you get access to 75 videos, private videos, Bitcoin School. So we got a couple new members from last week. Actually, we got Antmill, M-I-L-L, Antmill. We got Ryan J with a nice profile pic. Look, it's the house and the Bitcoin comparison. Ryan J and Tatiana. Tatiana joined yesterday as a Bitcoin School member. So shout out to the new members. And like I said, you get you can join for a little bit. It's a little bit cheaper to join on YouTube. You don't get access to the community, but you get access to every single video. I post a video every day, a new video, exclusive video. It's on YouTube, it's on School, and that's how you can find them there. So shout out to the new members. And yes, Bitcoin School is now available on YouTube. So if you want to save a little bit of money each month, you can just join the YouTube channel as a member, and you get access to a video every single day, a new video every single day from me, talking about a wide variety of Bitcoin topics: security, mindset, UTXOs, management, inheritance stuff, tools, wallets, nodes, all this stuff. Different topic every day, new video. And you can find that either on Bitcoin School or as a member on YouTube. So yeah, we got no sponsors, and it's because of the community. So the game plan today, we're going to do a lesson. We're going to do our weekly smash buy, and we'll try to give away some free Bitcoin if we got time. I don't know if we'll have time. Hopefully we'll have time. And Bitcoin Citadel. So I want to share this because I don't share this enough. And this is we got some really good stuff coming down the road here from Bitcoin Citadel, which we're going to have more information on in probably April or May. But we got a lot of great offerings on here. So we got hardware wallets set up. We got Bitcoin nodes set up. We got security health check, which I think a lot of people here watching this could use. security health check, and which includes a personal assessment, your custody and threat models, seed phrase security, threat mitigation, setting up a 2FA, and a security protocol review. So it seems like a lot of money, but I mean, this is something you do once. You get it set up, you get your Bitcoin secured. You don't have to pay an annual fee or a monthly fee or a percentage of your stack. But I really think that this would help people sleep a lot better at night. So I don't talk about this enough. This is the company we have, Bitcoin Citadel, and it's going to be, you probably haven't heard of it yet, but you're going to be hearing about it a lot in the next year. We got some really good stuff, including this, the 21 Sats inheritance protocol, which is going to have some news here coming in the next couple months. So that's bitcoincitadel.net. You can check it out. If you got any questions or you want to ask me about something, you can also book a call with me and see which solution makes the most sense for you. So that's Bitcoin Citadel. Okay, so let's get to her here. Let's get to her. Let's get to the lesson. Robo Poet. Look at that. A nice little 4-leaf clover for us. Thank you. Happy St. Paddy's Day. All right. Let's get to today's lesson, which is titled, "We Are First Generation Bitcoiners." I need to wash this freaking mouse or something. It is shit. It's really choppy. It must have some crap on it, or I don't know. Okay, what was I looking for here? I see we got oh wow. That was zoomed in on my face there. That was scary. Look at this, Jen. Oh, Josh. Joshua is getting in on the action too. He gifted a membership. J-Dog got it. I don't know how Jerry got 3 subscriptions from Sats and Sunsets, but he did. I've never seen somebody get three memberships. But Josh, another golden whale, gifted a subscription to J-Dog. J-Dog got it. There you go, J-Dog. So it's all red in there now. Oh, Buck52 says "If" by Rudyard Kipling. Great poem. One of my favorite poems. Probably my favorite poem. I don't know many poems, but one of my favorite poems for sure. "If." And Jen sent $5, said, "Help, pesky human won't take my stupid cone off." From Jen's dog, Nico. And look at that. Cool. Jen sent a little rant over on Fiat, or Fiat rant, Fiat Zap, and it's green. Do you get to choose the colors? I don't think so. But look at that. The golden whale herself, Jen, said, "Happy St. Paddy's Day." Nico. Thank you, Nico. All right. What am I going to do here? I'm going to make this drink before we get into her here. I'm going to fix a little drink, you know. Might even add a little bit of vodka to it. We'll see. Too soon to say at this point. But let's get this off the screen. Let's get into the lesson. How about that? Okay, I guess we're going to be mini for the rest. I don't know what happened there. But oh, Jen said no, it's based on the amount. I was hoping green wasn't like a hundo. What's 100? I think Josh sent 100 one time. I forget what the color was. Okay. Let's get to her. I guess I'm just going to be small for the rest of the show here. I don't know what happened there though. I was talking and I looked up and I didn't even see myself on the screen. So let's get to this element here. Let's figure out how to get me back big screen. There we go. All right, element. Electrolytes. Get some. Use element. Use salt of the earth. Don't use what's the main one? Liquid IV. Those are junk. But you should be hydrating yourself. You can use this element. You can use salt of the earth. But make sure you're getting your hydration, your electrolytes, your salt. Pretty important. We got to live long here, you guys and girls. We got to look after ourselves. All right. 100. Oh, yeah, that's right. $100 is red. I remember that. Okay, so let's get to her here. After much delay. Okay. Hello and welcome back. No, I guess I shouldn't say that. Oh, we'll say it. Hello and welcome back. This is lesson number 20, and it's titled, We Are First Generation Bitcoiners, or something like that. And we're going to be making a comparison to Bitcoiners and farmers. And a lot of people out there, I think, when they think of Bitcoin, they think of crypto, they think of a digital asset, they think of digital gold. And that's partially because the mainstream media, they love, I guess they have to spell it out for people, which is the case, I guess, in a lot of ways. But digital gold doesn't really fit. And the main reason I would say that digital gold doesn't really fit is because, number one, you can do a lot more with Bitcoin than you can with gold. Gold's essentially just a pet rock that holds its value pretty well. But Bitcoin, you can do infinitely more things with them. And the difference between gold and Bitcoin, the biggest one, is that gold has a 2% inflation rate forever. Has always, probably will always, might even go up. As technology gets better, we can always find more gold. If there's enough people that want gold, we can find more gold. So the inflation rate of gold is about 2% per year. Bitcoin's already lower than that, and it's going to be lower for the next 100 years. It's at about 1% inflation right now, and then it's going to cut in half to 0.5% inflation, and then 0.25% inflation. So there is a very big difference till it runs out in 2140, where there's no more new Bitcoin. So that's a pretty big deal. There's a massive, I think, a variance that we can't even comprehend ourselves. But there's a massive difference between something that's pretty scarce, like gold, and something that's absolutely scarce, like Bitcoin. Infinitely different. So, if you think about it, Saylor talks about this all the time, but I don't think people really understand and appreciate what this means. He basically said that with a 2% inflation rate, that basically melts all of your capital in 60 years, just with a 2% inflation rate. So it basically eats up all of your, because every time they, find new gold, that makes your gold worth a little bit less because there's more supply. You have the same amount, supply's changed, your gold is worth a little bit less overall. Not in fiat terms, because fiat, they just print more and it flows into hard assets like gold. But that's a big difference between gold and Bitcoin, which a lot of people don't really understand, I don't think. Hell, it took me like 3 or 4 years myself to fully grasp that. So what we're talking about today, though, is land. And I think that that's the best way to be thinking about Bitcoin. So I want to bring this up and I want to show you kind of my thoughts on how we should be thinking about this as Bitcoiners. Because when you think about Bitcoin from the perspective of a farmer, your view on everything. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. It is, you are the first generation Bitcoiner. So we're going to talk about who qualifies for this. Who qualifies to be a first generation Bitcoiner? We're going to talk about the similarities to scarce land, not just any land, but scarce land, which we're in this case talking about farmland. We're going to talk about how the land is almost gone and what this means for you and other people. And you got a couple options. I'm going to go through four things, I think, four different things you can do with your farm and what other farmers have done through the years. So you can do a quick flip, you can do generational wealth, and then finally we're going to talk about your job as a first generation Bitcoiner. So let's start with who qualifies. Who qualifies? So when you think in terms of generations, what's a generation? About 20 or 30 years? 20 or 30 years? Or is that too much? I don't know. Like, what's the difference between millennials, Gen Z, baby boomers? It's about 20 years, maybe 25 years. So I think that who qualifies for this is anyone who buys Bitcoin before 2039. And the reason I say that is because basically when we get to 2039, there's only going to be in 2039, there's only 100,000 Bitcoin. Let me write that out because it looks better this way. There's only 100,000 Bitcoin left to be mined for the next hundo. So think about that. From 2039 to 2140, there is only 100,000 Bitcoin left to be mined. So we just talked about the difference between pretty scarce gold, 2% inflation, and Bitcoin, absolute scarcity. So in 2140, that's it. All the Bitcoin has been mined. So I would say that when you think about it this way, think about this week we hit 20 million Bitcoin mined. 20 million out of 21 million Bitcoin mined. So it was a huge milestone in Bitcoin. And most people didn't even realize that it happened. Most people outside of Bitcoin had no idea that that happened. I mean, it didn't change anything. It was just a pretty significant milestone. And so basically then, if you think about it today, even for the next 120 years, essentially, we'll go 113, 114. There's only 1 million Bitcoin left to be mined. So it's important, right? Because when we're thinking about this as a farmer, it's kind of the same thing. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go on a little journey. We're going to go on a journey of exploring and finding new land, discovering new land. So this is wild. Like, this is absolutely insane. So the first 17 years here in Bitcoin, 20 million Bitcoin mined. And again, if you think about it this way, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to picture ourselves walking onto, we'll say there's a new planet. And we're all there, and we're walking around, and we're finding new land. And every time we find new land, we put our flag in the ground and say, hey, this is mine. Because very much like Bitcoin, there's only so much land. And I think maybe before we go any further here, we'll look at some similarities here. So I would say basically who qualifies is anyone who buys Bitcoin before 2039. You're considered a first generation Bitcoiner. Some people will have more, some people will have less. But I would say that anybody who buys Bitcoin in self-custody before 2039 is a first-generation Bitcoiner. So what does that mean for you? It means that number one, you're definitely not late. And there's a lot of people here who think that because they weren't here when Satoshi was around, when you could mine Bitcoin on a laptop, that they're too late to Bitcoin. But I want you to really think long term, because that's how farmers think. Farmers are notorious for very long-term thinking and long-term planning. And so we're gonna talk about the similarities here. So we'll start with similarities, and then we'll also talk about the differences between and why Bitcoin is far superior to land in a lot of ways. So similarities. So they're both scarce, both absolutely scarce. Although and so there was, in early days, there was a lot of Bitcoin or land. So that's what we're doing here. We're taking a trip. We got this new planet we discovered. We're taking a walk. We're planting our flag. Every time we buy any Satoshis, that's basically us saying, hey, this is my land here. That's how you should be thinking about it. And so they're both absolutely scarce. Both require, for best results, very long-term thinking. So they're both absolutely scarce, a lot of Bitcoin land. And as more people show up, demand rises, prices go up, just like land, right? So think about that. Think about walking out, and the people who first discovered the planet, this new planet that we're on, they got very cheap land. They got very cheap land. You could buy a Bitcoin for $1 back when this new planet was created. And there wasn't a whole lot of people walking around claiming new land. And so as time goes on, just like with land, as more people show up, the prices go up, right? Because there's only so much supply. As demand increases, the price only goes up. And so Bitcoin and land are very similar in that sense. But the thing that really stands out to me is this. Basically, as more, I got that one there. As more people show up, demand rises, price go up. And and we have to change the unit of measurement. So this is what I want you to think about here. So when we're exploring this new land, there's not a whole lot of people there, but there's a lot of land. Just like in the early days of Bitcoin, just like today, there's a lot of land available. And so in the early days, you could buy a Bitcoin for $1. Just like back in the day, you could buy a township. You could buy a whole township. And that's basically what Bitcoin is. Township, Bitcoin, same thing. And let me ask you this. How many people know what it costs for a township to buy these days? Have you seen many listings on realtor.com for a township? No, because nobody can afford to buy a town right now. And the exact same thing is going to play out in the future here with township and Bitcoin. In a couple decades from now, we'll have no idea what the price of Bitcoin is, just like we have no idea what the price of a township is. And so as more and more people showed up on this planet, there was more demand. And so as demand went up, they had to start cutting that into sections. And so what happened after a township? You had a section of land because nobody could afford a township. And then as more people showed up, we went to a half section. And more people kept coming to this new planet that we discovered. And we had to keep further breaking it down into half sections, quarter sections, acres, and then finally lots, which is where we are today. So think about that transition there and how long it took and how many things changed along the way. So this is like realistically back in the day, depending on where you are in the world here, you could have purchased a township for very cheap, like $5 probably, a whole township. But as more and more people showed up, we had to break it into chunks because not everybody could have owned their own township, right? It just didn't make sense mathematically because of the scarcity involved there. And so we had to start splitting it in half. And so you had a township and then a section, then a half section, then quarter section, then acres, and then lots. And it's going to be the exact same thing in Bitcoin. So today, you can still buy a section of land. Even though we're fairly populated here, you can still buy a section of land. And that's what I think we're going to, that's basically what sats are going to be in the future. You're going to be able to buy sats, but they're going to be pretty rare and they're going to cost a lot of your time and energy to buy. And then we're going to have maybe half sats and then quarter sats and then maybe millisats. And then who knows from there, microsats, who knows? But it's going to be the exact same process in the sense that as more and more people understand Bitcoin, as more and more people want to use and hold Bitcoin, we're going to have to keep changing the unit of measurement for it. And in a couple decades from now, I guarantee you that we're going to have no idea what the price of Bitcoin is. We're going to have no idea what the price of Bitcoin is, just like we don't have any idea what the price of a township is now. And it's going to be the same. It's going to be just as rare. Like how many people do you know that have a township, have their own town? Hardly any. I don't know anybody who has their own town. Other than on Schitt's Creek, they have Johnny owns the Schitt's Creek, named after Roland. But that's the only person I know, and I don't even know him, and it's a TV show. So that's going to be how rare it is to own a full Bitcoin in the future. It's going to be the exact same as a township. And then you have sections. I know a lot of people who have sections of land, just like I'll know a lot of people who have sats. But then again, as more and more people show up, we're going to have to keep, because we cannot create more units as productivity goes up, as we create more things, we have to keep changing the unit of measurement there. So it makes sense in our brain. And so I think this really starts to happen. This really starts when we hit $1 million Bitcoin. That's when one sat equals 1 cent. And that's when people are going to start that's when we're going to switch from pricing things in Bitcoin, just like they would have been pricing things in townships. They start pricing it in sections because it's much more feasible for people. Right? Like think about back in the day, not everybody could afford a township, so they didn't even bother. Like, well, I can't afford a full township, so what's even the point? But when we hit $1 million, one sat is going to be 1 cent, and then people can see that people will be able to buy. People will be able to buy 1 sat for 1 cent. And then they're going to say, wow, this is affordable. Even though nothing changed, just like this township here, they didn't make more land. They just split it into more sections so that people had a different perception of it. It was more affordable for people. And the exact same thing is going to happen in Bitcoin. So people will be able to buy 1 sat for 1 cent. So here's the crazy thing, though. This is the crazy thing, is that when that happens, we won't know what the price of Bitcoin is. Because when 1 sat equals 2 cents, that means that Bitcoin went from 1 million to 2 million behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, right? So that's what's going to play out here. It's the exact same thing. So imagine that. Imagine a day in the future, and this is going to happen. Again, assuming Bitcoin stays alive, stays decentralized and secure, as Jeff Booth says, then this is going to happen. It's absolutely inevitable. It's inevitable. Because again, this is based on more people showing up, just like they did with land. More people want to build on it. And there's not enough. We can't print more land. We can't create more land. So imagine a day in the future where we're looking at the price and 1 sat is 1 cent. And then 1 sat goes to 2 cents and then 3 cents and then 4 cents. And it doesn't really seem like that much for people who just showed up. It doesn't seem like that much. But again, behind the scenes, Bitcoin went from 1 million to 2 million to 3 million to 4 million. But nobody knows what the price of Bitcoin is, just like nobody knows what the price of a township is. It's just we're measuring it differently because there's more people here. There's more demand for the same. There's more demand for the same amount of supply, which very simple economics means those units go up in purchasing power forever, just like land. And so I would say that there's a few key differences, though, with land. A few key differences between Bitcoin and land. Land is not absolutely scarce. Land is not absolutely scarce. And you might say, what the hell are you talking about, Jor? I mean, number one, the Earth's growing. So technically speaking, land is becoming more abundant. Land has an inflation rate with the rate of growth of the Earth. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real estate and the ability to basically, because what is real estate? It's units that people can live on and farm on and do whatever they want on, play soccer on, golf on. That's what they are. They're units, right? And so with land, though, with technology, as technology gets better, we can build into the sky. Even though we can't make more physical land, we can build into the sky. And this has been happening for many years now. So if somebody put up a 10,000 unit skyscraper that people could live in, that increases the supply of real estate. We don't need more land for it, but we can build into the sky. And so as technology gets better, we're going to find more and more ways to build cheaper, quicker, and higher. And so land is not absolutely scarce. Also, land has property taxes. Do you really own your land? No. Because if you don't pay your property taxes, the municipality or the town or the city is going to come and take it from you. So with that in mind, like do you really own it if somebody else has the ability to take it from you? No. Plus, land is physical. And you might say, well, Jor, that makes it better than Bitcoin. Well, does it? Because with land, if there's an army or somebody with bigger guns than you comes along and takes your land, what are you going to do about it? You can't do anything because it's physical. So unless you have the means to protect yourself, you have to, we rely on the governments to protect our property rights, but how reliable are they? So land is physical, which means somebody can take it from you. Somebody more powerful can take it from you. That's a problem. So Bitcoin is absolutely scarce. Bitcoin does not have property taxes. Bitcoin has no leaks. It's the perfect battery. You send 1 Bitcoin to a wallet. You protect the private keys to that wallet. You open that wallet up in 100 years from now, you're going to have exactly the same amount of sats, 1 Bitcoin. No leaks, perfect battery, no taxes, no fees, nothing. And Bitcoin's not physical, which a lot of people think is a drawback to it, but it's actually its superpower, because you can store 12 words in your head and you can take all of your wealth wherever you want to go in the world. And if somebody shows up with a bigger gun than you, or a tank, or 100 men, the only way to ensure that they will not get your Bitcoin is to kill you, because you keep it up here. That's a huge unlock in Bitcoin. Again, a lot of people think that that's Bitcoin's drawback, the fact that it's not physical, you can't touch it. It's actually what makes Bitcoin so powerful. So that is that's the differences there. Sin says BTC has no what is that? Housing authority? In other words, Bitcoin is Karen free. True, very true. And that's the thing, right? If you want to make money on your real estate, you have to have a tenant, you have to have all this stuff. But that's a little bit out of the scope for today. But yes, absolutely right. And so that's the differences. That's the differences there. So what do we have now? So the land's almost gone. We talked about that. There's 21 million Bitcoin, 2.1 quadrillion sats forever, and it's almost gone. So as a farmer here, this is what you got a couple different options when you're buying farmland. So again, we're assuming here, we're putting ourselves in the shoes of somebody hundreds of years ago who's exploring new land, and they're looking for opportunities. And so what these people did, the first generation farmers, I'm talking about in the West here where I live anyways. I don't know what the case is for everybody. But anyways, what can you do with that land? It's very similar to Bitcoin. So you got four options, I'd say. Just like first generation farmers had, first generation Bitcoiners have the same options. So number one, that's not what we want. Number one, you can buy with debt, and potentially forced seller in a few years, right? So imagine a farmer going to a bank 100 years ago and looking for a loan to buy some land, and he's stretched really thin. He sold everything he had. He needed some debt, and then all of a sudden you have a couple of years of dry weather. Can't grow any crops, don't have any money coming in, and you're forced to sell. So this happens a lot with Bitcoiners too. They go in with debt, or they over leverage themselves, and they have to sell it in a few years. This is the worst case scenario here. Oh, come off of it. Come off it, Libre. Okay, second option here is you can buy a bunch of it, and develop or rent it out. So a lot of people do this with Bitcoin. They'll just buy a bunch and they'll live off that forever. They'll take a loan against it. They'll use it as collateral, and they'll never have to pay tax. They'll never have to worry about money again. There's a lot of people who are going to use this strategy in the future. I'm going to be one of them. But I'm going to do more. I'm going to be partially number 2 here, partially number 4. But the other option here, somebody who was exploring the land, they found all these, this township that they liked with a nice valley, some water. And so they could actually buy it and hold it for 10 years and then sell it. And then sell. Basically, wait for the demand to come. Just like with land, right? That's what people would have done. They would have bought this township of land, and they would have said, okay, well, I'm going to pay the property tax on it for a decade. I know that more people are going to move here over time, and so I'm just going to hold on to it. And in 10 years from now, I'm going to sell for more than I paid for it. And it's a little bit different now. Again, we're thinking hundreds of years ago. We're not thinking about this week, because it's a little bit different nowadays when the prices of real estate goes up. It's just because they're printing more money. This is a different situation. This is demand-driven price increase, not more money printed price increase. This is real appreciation. So you could buy it and hold it for 10 years and then sell it, essentially waiting for the demand to come. Just like in Bitcoin, you could buy Bitcoin today, you could hold on to it for 10 years, and then you could sell it to the people who are going to show up later. It's no different. It's no different. And then finally here, you can think like a real, I would say a real farmer, and you can buy it, work the land, and accumulate more. And I think that if more people thought like that, there'd be a whole lot less stress. There'd be a lot less demand for, the crazy videos on YouTube saying price predictions and trying to predict what happens in the next couple months, trading the charts, all this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But that's how you should be thinking about it. So, as a farmer, that's what they do. They add value and use that value. So they add value in the sense of they grow crops to feed their community, to feed the world. That's adding value to the world. It's just one way to do it, but they're adding value to the world. They add value. They store their value in their land and they pass it on. So think about it this way. How many farmers do you know that are on their laptops every day looking at the price of land so they can try to flip it in a couple years from now? Not many. Most farmers that I know, they're looking at the prices of land because they want to accumulate more. They're happy when something comes up for sale. The lot next to them comes up for sale. They want to buy it. They want to accumulate more. And so as a first generation Bitcoiner, you can do the exact same thing here. As a Bitcoiner, you can add value. Again, farmers work the land. They have cattle, they have sheep, maybe they have crops, they have a bunch of things. But what they're doing is they're adding value. They're creating value. They want to convert those crops or create those cows into food for people. That's what they're doing to create value for the world, and they get paid. They get paid for it. But as a Bitcoiner, you can add value too, and you can store it in your Bitcoin. And you can pass it on. Same idea. And so think about a farmer back in the day. If they bought land, even if they got a township for like $10, if they didn't actually do anything with that land, they would probably lose the land in a couple of years because there's fees associated with it, and they have to live. They have to feed their family. And so I think that Bitcoiners just have this. They think about two things. They think about Bitcoin as an investment that they're going to buy low and sell high. And so they're constantly checking the prices of it. But that's totally the wrong way to think about it. But the other part too is with Bitcoin, if you buy Bitcoin and you don't do anything else, if you don't work or if you don't add value to the world, you're going to lose your Bitcoin because you have to feed yourself. You have to feed your family. It requires money. So what this means for you, for you watching this as a first generation Bitcoiner, it's the fact that you can truly own Bitcoin. So focus 100% on the security of it, right? Because farmers have a lot of shit to deal with. Farmers have to worry about who the mayor is in their town and the property taxes. Farmers have to worry about the weather. Is it going to be a wet season? Is it going to be a dry season? Farmers have to get up at 5 a.m. and feed the cows. Farmers have a lot of stuff to deal with. You have one job. You just focus on protecting that. So what this means for you, protect it, think like a farmer, accumulate more, be happy when the price goes down because you can expand your farm. You can expand your assets here, your wealth. Figure out how to pass it on to your kids, and make sure you don't lose your land. Because it's the same thing. Even somebody who was there, again, as a first generation farmer, they got land for $10 per section. If they didn't do anything, if they weren't adding value to the world, they would have lost that land within years. So this is what you need to be focused on. Your security, because you can actually own it. You don't have to worry about the town or the weather or the property taxes or anything. You just focus on your security. And you think like a farmer. So when the price goes down, you're actually very excited because you can accumulate more land. And you figure out how to pass it on to your kids. That's one of the biggest. I used to be an accountant. I used to be a CPA. And a question we had basically at every meeting we had with farmers is, how do I pass this on to my kids in the most tax efficient way without the government being involved? And so it's up to you. You have to figure this stuff out yourself. You have to figure out how to pass it on to your kids. And you want to make sure you don't lose your land, which means you have to continuously add value so that your stack never goes down. Your stack only goes up. Your stack only goes up. And again, you can use this land just like farmers use their land as collateral. Bitcoiners are going to be able to use their Bitcoin as collateral in the future. And maybe that's the last part. I'm kind of already over time here, but that's the last part I'm going to mention here is Bitcoin as perfect collateral. Bitcoin as, actually, we'll use pristine. I like that word better. Pristine collateral. So when a farmer needs a new truck, or wife wants a new Prada bag. I don't know many farmers whose wife would want a Prada bag, but let's go like this. Wants a new hot tub. What do they do? What do they do? Do they look at their land and say, okay, we need a new truck, or we need a new tractor, or we need a new quad, or the wife wants a new hot tub? Do they go and sell a piece of their land? Do they sell an acre and go buy a hot tub? No. They go to the bank and get a loan. They use their land as collateral, just like Bitcoiners are going to be able to use their Bitcoin as collateral. It's the exact same thing, except it's better. It's a better form of collateral. Bitcoin is a better form of collateral. And I'm just going to give a few reasons here. There's probably 10 I could list, but we'll just use 3 off the top of my head here. Better form of collateral. Why? Because the bank uses this as security. The bank uses your collateral to reduce their risk of you not paying back your loan, right? So with land, it's tough because it's very reliant on many factors. Is this town going to be here in 20 years? Is the weather going to affect the value of this farmland based on the prior year's profits? What if the farm misses 3 payments? Do we have to sell some land? Do we have to find a buyer for it? How's it going to affect the rest of the land? Who's going to buy it? There's a lot of reasons for that, but it's a better form of collateral. So if you miss a payment, the bank can just sell some Bitcoin, right? Imagine that. Imagine you had a loan at the bank and you have Bitcoin as collateral and you miss a couple payments because, you lost your job or you want to go on a vacation or whatever it is. You miss a payment, the bank can instantly, 5 minutes, sell some Bitcoin, pay off your loan payment, and you're back to even. You can't do that with land. You could. The bank could sell a couple of acres, but there's way too messy. You have to have lawyers, you have to have realtors, you have to find a local buyer. Bitcoin is global with global demand, which means you don't need to find a local buyer. If I wanted to sell land here, I might have to wait 6 months. The bank might have to wait 6 months before they can be repaid because I missed the payment. So Bitcoin is global with global demand and highly, highly liquid. And that's very important for banks. They want to make sure that if something happens to the loan, they can sell your collateral and repay the loan. So it's highly liquid. And it's very easy to verify. You don't have to drive out to the farm. You don't have to see what machinery they have or what the operations are, what their balance sheet looks like, what their profit and loss looks like. Bitcoin's easy to verify. If you can prove your keys, you can see what it's worth in 2 seconds. So they don't have to constantly revalue it and make sure that it's still there or they still have the claim to it. It's very easy to verify, which is a dream for bankers, right? Because as much as Bitcoiners have this fantasy of the banks going away, that's not going to be the case. People are always going to need credit. And so Bitcoin's going to make it very easy for the banks to lend because of these reasons. So, okay, that was a mouthful there. That was a mouthful. So it's already way past what I wanted to be doing today, but I'm going to quickly go through this. So this is something, like I mentioned, this is going to be our second last lesson here today. We're going to do our last one next week. But I want to encourage people here because again, what this means for you, you gotta pay attention to this stuff. I feel like the 99% of Bitcoiners have no idea. They have no idea the importance of their private keys. They have no idea where to store them. They have no idea the implications of having everything in one spot. They're keeping it in the safe. They don't have a passphrase. They don't know where to keep the passphrase. There's so much involved with this, so much involved, and the inheritance side too. And so essentially what I'm going to suggest is we're going to start doing, this is for Bitcoin School. So this is for Bitcoin School. We'll go Bitcoin School. Looks nice. So this is kind of what the curriculum is going to be based on here. So it's going to be a blueprint, and we're going to kind of alter every day. So again, this involves a new Bitcoin video every day on variety of topics based on the above here. So this is what we're building here. We're thinking about this like land. We're thinking about this like digital property. And so we're going to build the blueprint. We're going to figure out what threat models you have, make a plan for it, where you are right now. We're going to build the foundation, which is mostly mindset here, but also like how to protect your Bitcoin from physical attacks, the outer citadel. We're going to talk about the tools, how to do the job most effectively, which wallets to use, liquid wallets, lightning wallets, how much you should keep, all these different things. Structure, building a life around it. So what else are you doing with it? How else are you adding value, making sure that your stack only goes up? And then finally, your neighbors, which if you're a farmer, you understand the importance of your neighbors. Because if you're gone somewhere or you need something, you got to have good neighbors. And so being part of this community here is you're going to have good neighbors. You're going to have people who have your back, want to help you, that can help you when you're down. And so this school course, it's a new Bitcoin video every day. And I don't know the exact date of when we're going to start, but I'm going to say this. If you join before April 1st, April Fool's Day, you get access to everything. Everything I have. All the courses, all the content. There's probably thousands of videos in there, but you're going to get everything. After that, I'm going to start selling the courses individually because it just makes more sense. There's way too much value in there for the price attached to it right now. But I want to have people in here. The whole point of this is to have average people building and growing and securing. And so the other thing about this too is we are going to do live private sessions every Tuesday. So we're going to get together as a group and we're going to review everything that we covered in the last week. So again, this course includes a new video every day, and you already get access to 75 videos from this year already. We're on day 76, I believe, today. But I've done a video every day, different topic, multitude of topics. And so we're going to start doing it live. Instead of doing these 88 lessons every Tuesday, we're going to start doing it live, where you can jump in. We're going to do it in school. You can turn on your camera, you can turn on your microphone, and we'll cover the topics from that week, and we'll do like Q&A. If you have any specific questions or scenarios, anything you want, that's going to be available for people in the Bitcoin School community. So it's very easy to join. Just go to school.com/88sats. And so on April 1st, I'm going to bump up the price for everything to like significantly more because there's a lot of stuff in there. And if you're serious about this is going to be a dream for you. And the idea with this at the end of it is you want to have all this built. You want to have the perfect structure that you and your family can carry into the next 100 years. But it takes time. One day at a time. It's like brick by brick. And that's how we're thinking about it. But by the end of this, you will have your Bitcoin in a multi-sig, which is, to me, right up there with the best way to secure your Bitcoin. Because then you're not worried about someone breaking in your house. You're not worried about your house going up in flames and you losing your Bitcoin. You're not worried about somebody finding your 12 words somewhere and stealing your Bitcoin. This stuff happens every single day. And so by the end of this, every person who's going through this is going to have their Bitcoin in a multi-sig or very close, at least confident and comfortable enough to do that. So by the end of 2026, your Bitcoin will be fully secured, foundation rock solid. You got neighbors, you got ideas for a business, more money coming in so you don't have to sell your stack. You want your balance going only up, fully secured. So if you can do that, what is that? 9 months? If you can commit 9 months, and I think it's laughable. I think it's $21 a month to join right now. So what is that? Like 20 times, that's $200. $200 some time, but that's it. Like if you think about how much people pay their freaking financial advisors and their insurance and their banks, this is a sliver of that. And you're going to get infinitely more out of it than that. So, I mean, I can't do better than that. I cannot do better than that. So if you, like I said, if you join before April 1st, you're going to get access to everything that's in school, all the courses, full access, which is going to go up by about 5 or 10 times after April 1st. So that's it. That's what I got for you today in terms of the lesson. And you got a couple weeks to think about it. You can check things out. And again, one last thing here, because this is important. This is important. If I can bring this up again, can I? Yeah. This is important. So there's 100% guarantee. Like I'm not in the business of trying to rip people off here. In fact, it's my duty here to provide about 10, 20, 30x more value than you pay for it. So you get 100% guarantee. I'm 100% certain that whatever you pay, you're going to be satisfied with it. So guaranteed, if you are unsatisfied, I will repay, no questions, 100%. Actually, no, we're going to do 88% because I don't want people, ripping me off. Because what would happen there is people would pay for it and then they'll at me after a month and say, hey, I'm not happy. And then I have to pay them in Bitcoin because repayments are in Bitcoin. That'd be a good way to get some non-KYC sats. Repaid in Bitcoin. So it's 88% guarantee, I should say. 88% guarantee. If you're unsatisfied, I will repay no questions in Bitcoin. And so you got to pay the 12% spread there if you want some non-KYC Bitcoin, if you want to try to game me. And look at this. This is exactly who this is for right now. This school course is exactly for this person. Miserable at my fiat job. So this isn't for people who don't have a job right now, because I want you to be stacking. And even if you're at your fiat job right now and you're miserable, this is the perfect course for you, because you're going to be focused on Bitcoin. You're going to be getting a ton of different ideas to start your own business and support that way. And you want to make sure that your stack's continuously going up. So this course specifically is for people with a decent sized Bitcoin stack, don't love their job, and want to make a change in their life. But it's not for people who don't have a job, because you need to be focused on getting a job and getting income before you focus on your Bitcoin stuff. But if you have a job, if you have a steady income coming in and you want to spend more and more time in Bitcoin and change your direction, this course is designed for you. So that's it. That's the lesson today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Last week's going to be the last lesson, and then we're going to have some changes, but I want you to consider joining if you're serious about this stuff. You won't find a better deal. you simply won't. So anyways, I hope you have a great day today if you're watching this on Saturday or later or whenever, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Adios. For everybody else, I'm not going to have time to get through all the comments today. I just don't. We got our BTC mastermind in, when is that? Hour and a half, frick. Okay, what did I miss here? Oh, we got some Anzer. It's not even worth talking about. Not even worth showing there. But let's check on the Zap stream. What happened to Zap stream? We got an error. What's going on in the Zap stream today? Where's Pauly D been? Yeah, where's Pauly D been? He was here last week, I think. I think we saw him. He had a comment about the meetup. Okay, I see. Yeah, Noster's not working great today. I see some Bad Gal B, David T. Oh, Fanny Zap 69. Nice, Fanny. Thank you. Scotty Zap 99. Sin zapped 18 and a 45, and David T zapped another 420. Thank you, David T. And Josh says, I think being early, so to speak, in this asset has given many Bitcoiners nai- naivety. What is that? I don't know what that word is, Josh. Wow, we got a couple big zaps to report here. Somebody said, "Great show, buddy. Long overdue. Sats, my friend." And 2 orange hearts. I know who that is. I know who that is. That was our guy, Ian E. So thank you, Ian E. He sent 20,208 big ones, units of freedom. Thank you, Ian. I'm hearing like an echo here. Where's that coming from? I don't know where this is coming from. Driving me freaking bananas, though. There we go. Got it. Okay, so thank you, Ian. Big thanks. Jensen 1234 from Nico. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico. We're just looking for Trent now to show up. We had Jerry, we had Backpacker. Still no Trent, though. Yeah, that's what I gathered too. I gathered that too. Anton said, I will join Want to for a while now. Well, you got the perfect opportunity, my friend. Anybody who joins before April 1st is going to be well rewarded for that, I'll say. Okay. Are there any certs worth getting as a Bitcoiner to help people see you as a professional in Bitcoin? I don't think so. I mean, not yet. I'm sure there will be. But I mean, it's one of those things, it's just proof of work, right? Proof of work. Every show I do, every one-on-one session I do, I consider those all proof of work. And that's the thing too, right? You get certified. It's funny, you get certified in like an industry and you have to memorize their material. You have to take a test. You have to do PD. They force you to do all this stuff to maintain your license. And it's like in Bitcoin, Bitcoiners just do that because they love what they're doing, right? Like I don't have to do any PD, but I do like 8 hours a day of it because I want to stay informed. I'm protecting the best asset in human history. And so a big value of being part of this community is you get to see all the ways that I've screwed up in the last 6 years. And there's probably 2 or 3 things that I did wrong that cost me about $200 or $250 or more. And so what I want to do with this course is to help people not make those mistakes. So essentially, it's a little bit different. It's hard to sell this course because, it's easy to sell a course where you're making money and you have, you can say, I guarantee you're going to get this income or you can get it back. But what you're doing here is protecting the money that you already have. And so that's my mission, is to help people not lose their money, which I guess is kind of the same as making money. Bitcoin Rad with a Bitcoin Well logo. With a Bitcoin Well logo. Is that Conrad? It says great mindset. Yeah, I like thinking about it that way. People from small towns would love that. It looks like NCK liked it. Love the townships to lots analogy. Lots equals sats. I would actually say sections equal sats. I think lots will be like microsats. But yeah, same idea. Same idea. Bitcoin is the only absolutely scarce asset. Land is close, but you can still build vertically. Yep, exactly. Exactly. VHF reunion with all his friends and family. Friends and family. Okay, what else did I miss here? We got lots of chats. All right. Scotty said up since yesterday. Oh, sorry, down today. Okay, we're gonna take down, Scotty. We're gonna go down. We got to buy some biddy. Okay, well, speaking of, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give away some Bitcoin. I said I was going to, and I'm going to keep my word. So I see Conrad here, and it looks like Conrad topped me up here in Bitcoin Well. So we're going to do some tosses here. So if you have a Lightning wallet, now would be a good chance to open it up. If you got a wallet of Satoshi, a Koinos wallet, Speed wallet, hopefully you don't, but if you do, it works. And we're going to do some tosses in honor of Conrad being here today. But before we do, I want to say this. If you're in Canada or the US and you're watching the show, I want you to try out Bitcoin Well. I've been using Bitcoin Well exclusively now for about 2 years. And as Forrest likes to say, it's the last exchange you'll ever use because they're just that good. It's that clean. And I just want you to try it out. Just take like $100, whatever you're going to buy for Bitcoin this week. If you're in Canada or the US, sign up using this link here. You're going to get some free Bitcoin and just try them out. Try them out. See what your experience is like. And zero risk involved. You don't have to commit long-term to anything, but give Bitcoin Well a shot. If you're in Canada or the US, they have some features in there that nobody else has. And they're a non-custodial exchange too, which means they don't hold your Bitcoin. You send them some money, they have your address, they send Bitcoin directly to your address. So there's no chance of rug, zero chance of rug. And if you are somebody who has a significant amount that you want to allocate, I would also suggest signing up using that link, using Bitcoin Well, because you're going to get less fees. I think if it's over $50,000 if you're buying at a time, you get a reduced rate, you get white glove service, and I might even do a free call with you and help you do everything. So if you're somebody watching this, if you got a significant amount to allocate, we'll go through the process together, and I'll give you some of my time if you're using Bitcoin Well to do that. So that's my offer to you today. Man, I've seen a lot of people buying, refinancing their house, selling their rental house, buying Bitcoin. So if that's you and you want some time with me to make sure you got your private keys secured properly and in the right spots, maybe even a multi-sig, we'll use Bitcoin Well and we'll get you set up. So that's what I would say on that. So let's give away some free Bitcoin. Let's give away some free Bitcoin. So open up your Lightning wallets. We're going to do a toss here. Oh, shit. Did it too early there. It's going to be a little bit hectic here. 500 sats. Okay, it's good because we had a couple times where I said we're going to do this until we get more than 210 sats. So there it is right there. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? So these sats are courtesy of Bitcoin Well. We love Bitcoin Well. I use Bitcoin Well exclusively. And there's a zero chance of rug, so I have no issues promoting them. And they give sats to the community here. So great company, great Bitcoiners, great platform, and they're supporting the community here. Okay, congrats. Thank you. Let's play again. We'll do a couple tosses here. 210. Maybe we'll get a big one today. Somebody in the community won 210,000 sats one time. That was wild. That was wild. You never know. And so again, if you use this link, you might even just use the link, buy $100 worth of free Bitcoin, and you have a chance to win 1 million sats. Again, I think you'll want to stick around Bitcoin Well, but you at least get some free Bitcoin. So I think you get 5 tosses into the well if you sign up using that link. We'll do one more here. Maybe we'll do 2 more. Who knows? Too soon to say. Wow. There it is. There it is. Man, I wish I could scan that right now. $21,000. We spoke it into existence there. I'm going to try to claim. Oh, somebody claimed it. Damn it. 21,000 sats. Let's go. That's a huge one. That's probably more sats than the average person will have in their lifetime. Somebody just won by scanning a QR code quickest. Wow. I think we'll leave it there. I don't think we can do better than that. So I got to I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I just got to run and do something. And then we'll buy some Bitcoin together and wrap things up. So I'm going to leave you with a little video here from our guy, Another Frog. And I think this took away my monetization last week, but whatever. I don't care. So here you go. Love that. Shout out Another Frog. Ooh, I just realized that I'm pretty broken fiat right now. I don't even know if I'm going to have enough for a buy, Scotty boy. What did I have yesterday? I didn't top this up. All right. How do we like that video? Pretty good, eh? Some familiar faces in there. Okay, so this is what we do here. This is part of the daily show, which we've worked into the weekly show here. And again, this is going to be our last weekly show, or second last weekly show for the 88 lessons. Oh, we got $10. We got $10 we can buy, Scotty. Unfortunately, I can't do more than that. I have $10.32. So we're going to buy $10.32 worth today. What the hell happened there? Magic trick. Okay, 17th. So we're going to buy 10.32. So the point of this, the reason why we do this every day, every single day we do this on the show. And by the way, if you like what we're doing here, if you want to hang out every single morning, not just Tuesdays or Mondays coming up, I guess it might be, but you can find us here. And a lot of people are there today, including a guy who apparently has had a stroke on live on the stream and talking a bunch of nonsense. But that's where you can find us. But we buy Bitcoin every day, every single day, because we're trading units of illusion here. We're trading units of trash, and we're getting absolute scarcity. So think about this. This is kind of like, again, going back to sections of land here. This is the equivalent of that. Think about all these sections of land you're buying, because there's only so much of it. And every sat that we have is a sat that they don't have. And the idea here is that one day, eventually, one sat will equal $1. And so today we're going to trade $10 for how much in the future? How many future dollars? Let's do max 1032. Whoa, look at that. Oh, almost 10,001 sats. 10,001. We cleaned out the account. So that's essentially what that's our thesis here. That's our long-term thesis. The 1 day, 1 sat will equal $1. Not a matter of if, but when. And so basically we just traded, if you subscribe to that theory, we just traded $10 today for $10,000 in the future. And that's why we do this every day. Because it builds a habit. It builds a habit. And we're going through our Napoleon Hill Law of Success course every day on the show too. And one thing that he talks about all the time is the power of saving, the habit of saving. And so if nothing else, even if you don't show up and stay and join the chat, show up and buy Bitcoin with us every morning. Because you're gonna be happy you did. Imagine this. This is just like every week, but imagine what this is going to look like in a decade from now. So you got to do it, and we do it kind of intelligently too. When the price is up, we buy a little bit less. When the price is even, we buy the usual amount. When it's down, we buy more, and when it's really down, we go ham. And it's called an intelligent DCA strategy. Intelligent DCA. So that's what you can do there. Bingo, bango, bongo. We're out of here. BTC Backpackers said, I love the video I saw you on it, Jory. Yeah. Flip her. Look at that. I want us to be on backpacks in the video. Maybe the next one that another frog does. He'll put you guys on a backpack. Although I don't think the family would fit on a backpack. You might suffer the same fate as Jack on the Titanic. The Titanic, what a scam that movie was, by the way. They got us. They got us good. They got us good. Good to see the whole Packer family in here today. We got Fanny, we got Backpacker, we got Flipper, we got Hodler, we got Anonymous. We haven't seen him yet, but or Hodler. Where's Hodler and Anonymous? Okay, let's wrap things up again. We got our stream happening in an hour and a half from now, so you're gonna get tired of my voice. Luckily, you won't have to listen to me the whole time. But we got Brandon, we got Rajat, we got, and sorry, Josh, I forgot to read your. I'm just gonna bring this up here because I don't know how to say this word, and I hate saying words more than once and getting it wrong again. So when you're naivety, I don't know. I think by being early, so to speak, in this asset has given Bitcoiners they're naive. Bitcoiners are being naive, myself included. I know better, have been doing it here long enough, yet still nowhere near where I need to be in terms of OPSEC and mindset. Bingo. And me too, Josh. Me too. Like that's what I mean. I went through years of this, doing it wrong, learning my lessons, very costly lessons. And I've lost sats before. And it sucks. And it could have been avoided had I've known, but I just didn't know, because again, we live in an information age now. And that's where I don't want people to get confused with this course. This isn't going to be, the technical aspects of Bitcoin. It's not. I mean, anybody can learn about that. You can watch any YouTube video. You can ask AI. It's how to manage what you have, where to keep your keys. How many keys do you have? How many backups should you have? Should you have a passphrase? Where do you keep the passphrase? What about UTXOs when you want to use this Bitcoin in the future? What implications are going to have on your privacy, on your security, on your transaction fees? There's just so much involved. And so that's why I think that doing it in a daily fashion, very repetitive, covering many topics and reviewing them every week, I think that's the best way to do this. And I know there's going to be a lot of very thankful and happy people that they went through this at the end of 2026. So that's watching from Sway. Never heard of that before. Check it out. Yeah. I got you. I don't know how to say the word though, but being naive. I agree, Josh. I agree, man. Gringo says, Latina girlfriend just broke up with me. May need to change my name. Imagine turning the biggest monetary scam of a lifetime into a romantic movie. Yes, no doubt. No freaking doubt. No freaking doubt. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any more zaps here before we go further. We're going to wrap things up. I think I missed one more. How do we get some good tunes in the background here today? Oh. Okay, we got David T there. So if you bought Bitcoin, by the way, if you bought some Bitcoin today, let us know what you got. Let us know what you got, what you paid. Sorry, I missed one from Buck52 here. I got Fanny's, Bad Gal B's, Jen. Camille sent a few in. There we go. Okay. So let's wrap her up. Again, I want you to check out our just in case. I'm not going to share the link or anything. You can find it if you want to. I don't want to be sharing too many links on here. But BTC Mastermind, this starts in an hour and a half from now. Wow, we got 150 subscribers over there. I thought we had like 2 last week. So there it is. Robin, Rajat, Jor, Forrest, Brandon. BTC Mastermind. We got one video up there already. And we got one happening in an hour and a half from now. So if you want something to do this afternoon, make sure you go over, subscribe to the new channel if you want to. And we'll see you then. So thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I don't know what happened to my music here. I don't want to end on quiet here. Don't want to end too quietly. Don't want to go out quietly. But yeah, my mindset, Josh mentioned the mindset there. I think that's actually going to be a pretty big part of it. So the Bitcoin School course, obviously it'll have all the technical information you need for protecting your Bitcoin, but it's also going to be like, I really think that people are underestimating how much wealth they're going to have in the future. And I just want you to imagine if you woke up tomorrow, and this has happened to me before, several times now, but you wake up tomorrow and you look at your Bitcoin wallet and it's gone. And you have no idea where it went. You have no idea who took it. You have no idea what went wrong, but you know that you have zero in there. And you can actually see the transaction leaving your wallet. And you know that you didn't do that transaction. And that's a problem with being careless with your Bitcoin, leaving your 12 words here in plain text, because if somebody finds that, they have your Bitcoin. And so I just want you to think about that. Think about the sinking feeling in your stomach of looking at your wallet and you have 0 sats in there. Everything you've done, all the shows you've watched, all the work you've done to get those sats, and you have to start over again. And it's funny because the song that is playing right now is called Starting Over Now. And it's the same, that's what it is. Just imagine that. Imagine most people would probably never get a fraction of their stack that they have now. So you have to take this seriously. That's why I wanted to make this show. We are first generation Bitcoiners. I want you to sign up for the school. Like I said, we're going to be doing a weekly show with weekly live Q&A for the community only. And it's going to be the perfect opportunity to review the week, let things sink in. And, oh, that's the wrong link. Sorry. Wrong link. But I want you to join us in there. We're building something pretty powerful. And if it's anything like the living in the future, you're going to want to get in earlier than later. You're going to save money. You're going to grow your reputation, earn trust, meet some new people around the world. And you never know what it's going to turn into. The people I've met in there, the things we built in only a year and a half or 2 years is incredible. So it's much more than just Bitcoin. That's a big part of it. But you want a multi-sig, that's what you're going to get at the end of this course. Oh, look at that. We just had somebody join. Okay. So there we go. Yeah. Sorry, Fanny. I got some stuff to do, and I got to go live with those other guys in an hour and a half. I wish I could stay longer. It's already been 2 hours though. Got some Bitcoin at 67. Nice. Thank you, Fanny. Thank you, Ian. And thanks everybody for the support today. All the people who have been joining the community, joining as a member on the channel. And big shout out to Sats and Sunsets and Jenny over in Rumble today for giving a little boost. And Josh. Can't miss Josh. So that's it. We'll see everybody in a little while here. I'm already losing my voice today. So anyways, have a great Tuesday. Oh, we're laggy here. What's going on? Have a great Tuesday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. And join the school so you can keep hanging out with us on Tuesdays. Next week's going to be the last lesson number 21. So we'll see you then.